for me, it's this year. It has to be this year.
A Western New York wife and mother is racing against the clock. She's in the fight of her life, and what she's fighting for might surprise you. It is the right to die on her terms. Susan Ron is battling stage 4 breast cancer, and doctors say it is terminal.
And since her diagnosis, she's become an activist, pushing for legislation to allow her to die when she chooses. Once again, it's up for debate in Albany. News 4's Jen Shantz joins us now with her story. Jen?
Well, Don, Susan Ron doesn't want to die. In fact, she says she's fighting every day to live. She's got a husband and a son and a great life. The last thing she wants to do, she says, is to leave it. But her diagnosis has other plans for her. She's become an advocate for New York's Medical Aid in Dying Act, which has another shot at becoming law this session, despite a lot of opposition. For her, the clock is ticking.
You start thinking about, well, what do you want your funeral to look like? Who might have to raise my son if I'm not going to be around?
It's something Ron can't stop thinking about. In 2013, she was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer.
Death is a part of life. You can't escape it.
Legislation in Albany would allow you to control it if you're terminally ill. The Medical Aid in Dying Act is again up for approval from New York lawmakers.
I want this control. I want to be able to make this decision for myself because so many other decisions have been taken from me.
Ron is one of the measure's biggest advocates. In August, she passed her 36-month median lifespan after diagnosis.
In my mind, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, just like everybody else, who's in my situation does, living from scan to scan.
Her last one, which she did in November, showed something unknown in her lungs. She'll know more in May when she has another scan. Ron says one thing is clear. This diagnosis will kill her. She wants to have a say in her final days, so she's started speaking out in support of medical aid in dying.
It just kind of morphed into this kind of role.
The Medical Aid in Dying Act didn't quite make it to the finish line last session. The bill would allow terminally ill adult patients in New York State to obtain medicine from a physician to end their own lives. 6 states currently have death with dignity laws, and many more proposals are out there. But the idea of choosing the time and place of your death isn't without opposition.
Proponents of this legislation call it dying with dignity, but the Catholic Church hardly considers it dignified to go against God's plan and choose the time and method of one's death.
The bill narrowly made it past the Health Committee last session with a final vote of 14 to 11. The lawmakers from Western New York all voted against it. Ron has spoken in Albany before both senators and assembly members in hopes her story will change minds. She grew up Catholic, but feels because this choice is a personal one, it shouldn't offend those who don't choose it for themselves.
I'm not trying to convince them or change their beliefs in any way.
Like most aid in dying bills, New York's is modeled after Oregon's Death with Dignity Act. New York's bill requires an oral and written request from the patient wanting the drug. Patients must ask for the medicine. The doctor can't suggest it. 2 adult witnesses are required when the patient makes that request. The patient can change their mind at any time, and the health commissioner would be required to keep track of how often the medicine is requested and used. No doctor would be required to participate. The patient must also have the capacity to make the request, meaning they have to be of sound mind and know what it is they're asking. Ron makes the distinction between medical aid in dying and suicide. For her, the two are very different.
It's not suicide because I'm not suicidal. I want to live more than anything else. I am doing everything I can do to stay alive. I will do whatever I have to do to stay alive. I will do the chemos. I will do the treatments, the clinical trials, if they're available for me. I'll do them all. Dying is not what I want to do. I don't want this diagnosis.
Oregon has kept records of its program since it started. Most recent numbers show 133 people died in 2016 from ingesting the lethal drugs. There have been documented cases of patients regurgitating the medicine or regaining consciousness after taking it, but those numbers are relatively small. Most patients who chose to utilize the Death with Dignity Act in Oregon cited their fear of losing autonomy and dignity in their final days. It's the reason Ron wants the option as well.
That last day, what do you want it to be?
And I'm getting emotional. I would like it to be more of a celebration. I have been to so many funerals, and I don't want that type of atmosphere.
Now, this, of course, is a very complex issue. There's plenty more data on the online version of my story. Just head to WIVB.com and click on this story. You can also go to the Found It on 4 tab for more information. I sat down with Bishop Malone of Buffalo's Catholic Diocese to discuss his concerns with this measure, not only from a religious but from a political standpoint. You'll hear more from him coming up later in the week. And, of course, we'll continue to follow Susan's journey as well. For now, live in the studio, Jen Schatz, News 4 at 6.